name's Brad, aka Misfit Trucker, and I struggle with ADD, ADHD, and bipolar disorder. In life, we all have struggles, and in life, we all try to find someone or something to blame. This video is not to blame my actions on attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and bipolar disorder, which I struggle with every day. This video is about bringing awareness and to hopefully help somebody who goes through the same struggles as me or a similar mental health issue. We all have our own personal issues, so I'm going to share mine. And I'm hoping that this video will reach somebody that struggles with the same thing and helps them cope with the same issues. I'm hoping I can relate to somebody else out there. Sit back and relax. Hope y'all enjoy. When I was first diagnosed at age 12, I was getting in trouble at school, couldn't concentrate. I still had my goofy attitude like what I have today. I also had a lot of anger issues, and it was uncontrollable. It was kind of one of those things that you don't see kids normally have, like, at all. I was shutting down schools, all right? Like, it was terrible. And at the time, ADD wasn't really a thing that like a lot of doctors knew about. There wasn't so many studies on it. Same with ADHD and bipolarism. So I never got help. They sent me to counselors and all that, and it just, to this day, I just don't like counselors either. Nothing that my family tried, to calm me down worked. It wasn't until like right before my first year in high school, my family had sent me to this place called Cross Creek, thinking that they were going to help me with all these seminars and stuff. And a lot of you guys that see my live feed and heard about my past know about that place. And they sent me to see some therapist, and that's when they officially diagnosed me and medicated me. They diagnosed me with ADD and ADHD and bipolar. They medicated me with Depakote, Statera, and a couple other ones I don't remember because I ended up like not taking them because it turned me into a robot. I couldn't really be myself, but at the same time it worked for the anger. Instead of screaming, shout, and punching things, I was just calm, I guess. But I also wasn't causing myself to get into trouble to lead to that anger in the future. As soon as I got out of Cross Creek, I stopped taking my medication, and I went to high school. Within the first 6 months, the same thing started happening. Got kicked out, got into fights, and the temperaments just got worse. Like, my anger got worse, the outbursts. I would have days where I'm just up, doing things, having a good time, and then days where I'll just be depressed. That's part of just the bipolarism. Couldn't ever focus in class, never. Like, anytime any authority figure, whether it be a principal, a teacher, anybody would say, hey, pay attention, blah, 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 no, and I still have that problem to this day. As time went on, though, I was taking the meds on and off. I was going to counseling, and I finally decided I needed to better myself. And that wasn't until actually my son was born. And parenthood is a funny thing, because as soon as my firstborn son was there in my arms and stuff, like something clicked inside my head. And it was like, imagine a fire raging on inside your head, right? And there's a dial. Well, it's like something just turned that dial down, and it humbled me in a way. It actually felt better than any type of medicine out there. Fatherhood. When I was working for my parents, I had this little 3-bedroom trailer that I was renting from my mom and dad, and working in the restaurant, and it just wasn't making enough. I was pulling in like $200 a week, struggling, fighting with my family because it's hard working for them. And they didn't really understand the whole ADD and ADHD and bipolar concept. They just looked at me as all right, well, he's having an outburst, either kick him out, call the cops, or beat his ass. And that's kind of what I dealt with, you know, because it just wasn't a thing back then. Even though I was taking medicine, even though I was diagnosed with it, it still wasn't recognized by family, friends, and peers. It was literally just I guess an excuse back then. Finally, I decided to try my hand in trucking. I went to it was American Truck. I forgot the first trucking school. See, I went to a trucking school, got in trouble and got kicked out of that trucking school, and then went to a different trucking school, thus actually passing and leading me into the trucking industry. I picked my company, got my truck after all my training, and I knew immediately I belonged. But I didn't know that even with my mental illnesses, I wasn't really thinking about those issues. I just wanted to do my job, get paid, go home type stuff. Because you don't really think about that. Like, it's always in the back of your head, like, yeah, I got this, but you don't think about how that's going to affect you in the long run with driving. I knew that if I didn't shape up, it was going to be bad. So I ended up in my truck rather than a jail cell. You get to these companies and you think, yeah, perfect, everything's going to be great. But then you start making these mistakes. You know, you get comfortable, you forget a lot, and you do dumb stuff, all right? Like, you lose your temper on a shipper and receiver, which has been a trend all my life because I've done it before. You forget to write some stuff down. Somebody calls you, says, hey, can you turn this in? You say yes, and then you don't turn it in because your mind was focused on doing something else. That's the reality of ADD and ADHD. It sucks as an adult because you got to be productive in life and do things, and you still go through the struggle to find a balance. All I want to do is to find that balance, find that forever home of trucking, basically, and be able to just retire at the same company. I've worked for a lot of good people, and a lot of good people have tolerated my little mistakes here and there. Some of these mistakes are just outright dumb. The bipolar one is the hardest one for me, and it's the most easily noticed mental illness of mine. The reason being is because I can have a few good weeks, a few good months, just in this manic, like, happiness, want to work, let's go, let's drive the miles, ready to roll. Perfect example, this week, 24 hours, I did 1,000 miles. I was doing an essential run, rolling. This week total, I will have 3,368 miles. I was amped up, ready to go. Switch or breaker in my head just kind of goes off and pretty much tells my body, hey, you're done. Like, you're gonna be depressed for no reason. You can be the happiest man, have all the money you have the perfect woman, have your kids, but hey, depression, here you are. You know, that's what happens. People ask me, well, why aren't you taking your meds no more? Because some of these meds you can't take on the road. I took this one med that it was Adderall. That was a very short spiel. You want to talk about a robot? That turned me into just something I didn't want to be. And that was just a corporate troll, basically. Just ended up going on my day, working, driving, and being confined in this truck, being away from society, basically, helped a lot. Except when you deal with authority figures. What would you like? Oh, did that hurt your feelings?
Afternoon, sir. My name's Officer Edmund.
I know who the fuck you are.
All right, I'll be conducted a
I bet you are level 1, right?
No.
Oh, man, would you like to take me to dinner before you fuck me, or what?
I was conducted.
But my trigger was authority. So when I go into a DOT station, you know, and the guy could be a complete, like, cool person, I end up being just a complete total jackass out of nowhere for literally no reason. And it turns me into a punk. But I know deep down inside, I'm not that person. Like, I don't have a problem with law enforcement. I've had my views about them, just like everybody else. But I think those are my personal views. I don't think those are my mental illnesses. You know, I will take responsibility for some of the bad things I've said about law enforcement and some of the bad things I've done. So even though I thought I had it under control by staying in my truck, my highway jail cell, you know, I knew immediately that there's still a monster back there. There's still that mental illness. And I got to do more to control it. So I started recording videos. I started thinking of all the bad things I did in trucking and all the good things I've done in trucking. I was a 3-year rookie at the time, and I knew a lot, but I didn't know everything. But I still wanted to take what I knew and share it with other people. I didn't know at the time that there was a bunch of other trucking YouTubers, and I started watching. I'm like, oh man, like these guys have already done everything that I wanted to do. They've already showed people everything. Like, if I'm gonna get in this YouTube game, like, this is gonna be tough because everybody's already doing the same thing, you know, and they're getting a lot of views, you know. And I kind of followed them in a way, but I was trying to always find a way to mix shit up myself. And with the ADD and ADHD problem, it's very hard to have a complete organized YouTube channel with one niche, because you have ideas flowing inside your head all the time of things you want to do. Then those things you want to do, you end up forgetting about because you got distracted on something else, and it's just a non-stop thing. So I always had my mind on just making videos, doing fun things, trying to think of creative ways to entertain people, and it worked. It helped out. But then the drama stuff, you know, venting and saying certain things I shouldn't say, and you know, that kind of put a little damp on things, but I feel like I'm bringing my shit back. So my advice to you guys, to anybody watching this video that has a mental illness like ADD, ADHD, or bipolar, what I'm going to tell you guys is make friends. Not toxic ones. Ones that will uplift you and inspire you and bullshit with you and deal with your bullshit, and ones that understand how you are, ones that can see you when you bullshit, you know, ones that fuck with you about your bullshit. Eat healthy. You know, I can't say I have been, but I was reading online that eating healthy sometimes can help with that. I don't know, working out does, you know, get that rage out. I do work out every now and then, so that is a thing. And find a hobby. Having ADD and a hobby like YouTubing is extremely hard. Extremely hard. Like, you guys don't even understand how hard it is, because when you got so many ideas but not pushing them out, yeah, they just get lost. And there was probably some really good stuff out there. That's why a lot of the stuff I do just kind of comes on the top of my head while I'm doing it. That way it stays on my phone and I can upload it. And for the bipolar, that's the only one I don't know what to do. When you're feeling manic, because that can last for weeks, months, when you're feeling upbeat, when you feel like you're on top of the world, when you're just in the best mood you can ever be, take advantage of every single moment, because you know eventually that depression, that dark side's gonna click, and it's gonna fuck your month up, fuck your week up. But you take the good parts of it and just embrace it. And just remember that the depression will go away and you can get back to being on top of the world. And this doesn't go just for truck drivers. This goes for everybody out there that's in a career, you know, with something that like this. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that like button and the bell icon for every time I upload. And what do y'all think? Do you guys have any mental illnesses? Do you have anything that kind of hurts your trucking career or any career at all? I would love to hear about them in the comments down below. It's tough, but we're truckers. We roll on, right? So y'all be safe. Have a wonderful day. And as usual, this is the Trucker out.